Mother, man.
Yeah, I'm about to get me a big score, you see. Come jump out of an airplane. Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem!
All right, what the hell's up?
What the fuck's up?
Man, old DB taking a moment to check in with us.
Got to jump out the plane, man.
That's
shit.
right, that's right. Well, shit, it is a Tuesday, and we are throwing down a brand new Murder Metal Mayhem. We're in Horns Eye Studios on the Horns Eye Podcast Network, and Chris, finally, Joey, episode 200.
200, baby.
Woo.
Wow. Who the fuck would have thought that?
That's crazy, man.
5 years.
Yeah, coming up on a 5-year anniversary in April. So, holy shit, 200 episodes. As we mentioned, that's plus 90 other unnumbered episodes, like bonus things.
Crazy interviews and shit like that. Yeah,
so
it's fucking crazy.
Total content, we're almost at 300. But for our purposes here, this is the 200th, and we're excited to do this. We got a couple of little surprises here, and one I've hidden from both of you, and so that's going to be fun to roll that out.
Hell yeah!
And so we're going to do that, and I got Chris here with me in studio, Joey as always in the 419 studios there in Toledo. How you doing, man?
Represent. Fucking watching my back every time I get gas. Those are dangerous spots here in this city.
Yeah, I was telling Jenny about that. She's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, really got to be careful. It's fucked up. So definitely don't need you in the hail of bullets there.
Hell no.
I was getting gas the other night, and I was at the gas station, and when I was coming out, this fucking gangsta dude was out there. He was like, "Hey man, you got a cigarette?" And I was hitting my vape thing on the way in, so I think he saw me.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I don't smoke cigarettes." But I was like, "Man, he's gonna fucking shoot me in the head over fucking not having a
fucking
cigarette."
Yeah.
Right?
Thinking I'm lying and shit.
Wow. Yeah, that's scary shit, dude. All right, what shirts we got on, Chris? You got anything special on? Some sort of...
I got the Murder Machine clothing zip up on, of course, because it's fucking cold now.
Right.
And then underneath I got, interesting enough, it's some anime character that just says, "Oh my God." Okay. My daughter got me this shirt, and I was like, I'm going to wear it. My daughter got it for me.
Okay.
It's some anime show.
Okay.
Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think she said it was called.
Okay, very good.
Anime, baby.
Okay, all right. Joey, I like that shirt you got on. That looks sick, dude. What are you wearing?
Brand new Embalmer fucking long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, that's sick.
They just got these pressed, and they got fucking t-shirts, long sleeves, hoodies.
Wow.
So go hit up Embalmer or Ablated Merch, and you can grab one from them.
Awesome. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wearing the Painted Wraith shirt that I got when we were there last time.
Fuck yeah.
So love the Painted Wraith, and big supporters of Murder Metal Mayhem. We've done a couple shows there, and it's a fun place. Right here in Bloomington, Illinois, Chris. So
yes, sir. Now you can get their shit online. They've fucking been working on that shit. So.
That's right. So paintedwraith.com, and just no other reason than just wanted to wear the shirt to salute them and thank them for being cool with us. Now, last week, guys, we did a very disturbing feature on old Philip Jablonski.
Yeah, that dude is fucked.
The serial killer that should be from the south side of Chicago, but was not, over there in California. And we talked about that crazy bastard murdered at least 5 women from 78 to 91 in California and took it on the road, Chris. Went to
Utah,
Utah.
fucking A.
pulling guns out on women in rest stops. I mean, just a crazy story.
No,
Necrophilia.
he dropped the gun, dude. He dropped it.
That's right. He dropped the gun.
Sorry, like, get it right.
Doing acts
He was
of
clumsy as fuck.
Yeah,
he was. He really was. Multiple incidents of necrophilia, carving messages in one victim's ass. I mean, like really brutal, very vile, and even tried to strang his own mom with a shoelace in prison.
In prison.
Yeah, comes to visit him, chokes mom out. So it's a wild one if you missed that. I did the metal feature on Luna Insanguinum, which is cool. Chicago band.
Chicago represent.
Definitely. And we had a good one interview. I put that little piece in there, and we had a good killer cage match, the karaoke, and all kinds of mayhem. So it was a good episode 199. If you missed it, go give it a listen. We were passing 900 to that one today. So we appreciate that. And the Luna Insanguinum bonus episode that came out Friday was just passing 500. So that was really good.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So thanks to everybody that checked that out. Now, tonight, guys, as we mentioned, we're celebrating the 200th episode. And we wanted to do something a bit different. Doing the case of D.B. Cooper, one of these unsolved type cases. It's just been fascinating for a lot of people into true crime. It's a 1971 hijacking of a 747. I mean, it's got
people looking to find that money and shit.
Yeah, all the ingredients of just this like spy story or something, and he's flying from Portland to Seattle and demands $200,000 and jumps off in a parachute, never to be seen. So it's definitely an interesting story, and we're going to have our boy Tex on with us to talk about it. So, yeah, he wanted to get in on it.
Tex.
He likes the DB Cooper stuff, so that was cool. He wanted to get in, and always great to have him on the show and celebrating the 200th with him. So that's very cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Now, Chris, you got the horns tonight, and you've decided to do which band?
I'm doing Nervosa, and I'm not going to lie. I couldn't find a whole lot of information on them. They're fucking, I dig them. But yeah, I'm doing Nervosa.
Okay, very cool. That's the band with the chick singer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know much about them at all, other than I thought that was the band that you liked that had the female singer. But, I always like to learn something about a subject I don't know anything about. And I got a lost classic for us, one I've been jamming here lately, and some other metal news to talk about. I saw Deicide recording, and so we'll talk about that in the metal segment. So that'll be cool. Killer cage match tonight, guys. That's where we have our listeners provide some random numbers on Facebook and help us decide who's going to fight to death in the steel cage. So, Chris?
So we got Jess Brown. Thank you, Jess. We got Steph Brooks, 419 Crips, represent. Motherfucking, and Harold Norris. So, fuck yeah, dude. Thank you all. We appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, all of you guys. Steph Brooks, I think she's been in here before.
Right?
Yeah. So, but she added that 419 thing. We got one hell of a battle tonight in the steel cage, and it's an interesting one because this is our 200th episode. But the listeners pick these. Joey, who do we got fighting tonight? This should be very, very, could be very lopsided.
Yeah.
We got the dude who likes to rub shoulders with politicians and fry some chicken up. John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
He buries boys in his fucking basement, and then he's gonna go up against fucking that dude with the glass eye that likes to travel around and just murder. Maybe a lot, maybe a few, but definitely some, and that's Henry Lee Lucas.
Fuck yeah. Pall Mall, baby.
That's what I smoke, man.
And they're going to have a couple of objects and a variable with them in the cage. And I added an additional feature that I'm going to suggest we keep in the segment moving forward. You'll see what you guys think when we get to that.
So it's pretty
funny. So big thanks to everyone who listens to the podcast, all these, 200 episodes now. Keep on spreading that word and keep fucking cranking it up every week. This past week we had about 3,100 listens, so thank you. And make sure you check out our new website, murdermetalmayhem.com. We've had a lot of hits on there, so thank you.
That's badass. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
guys.
sign up for that email list. You'll get the updates. It's funny. It's not funny, but it is. Jeff from Killers the Card Game, they took his site down.
Really?
His page down. The same thing as us. They unpublished him.
That's fucking stupid.
So he's filing an appeal, and I'm like, dude, just you fuck them, And then Brian Keene, the author I've been reading lately, the zombie series, he had posted something that said that from moving forward, I'm going to be much less present on social media. Go to my website,
right.
Sign up on my email list.
Everybody's so fucking touchy on
yeah,
fucking
I'll
social
keep
media.
you updated that way. And to me, that's the best way to do it, because then, you don't have anybody telling you what you can
I
say
can do
or
what
not.
the fuck I want.
Yeah, so that's interesting that it happened to Jeff, and then I don't know what happened with Brian Keene, and I don't know that it was Facebook, but it was definitely odd right after it happened to us.
Yeah,
Jeff,
all of a
and
sudden.
that. So I don't know, maybe he pissed somebody off. We'll see. All right, so we are going to be taking a little trip out west to see if we can avoid any hijacked planes while we're at it. Celebrating the 200th tonight. We're going to give Tex a call, see if he can help us out.
Fuck yeah, let's go hijack a plane and jump out that bitch. What?
Bacteria growth inside, summoned from hell itself. Infesting with precision, killing off one by one and again. Captivated, controlled and defeated, life will soon deteriorate. Pumping of the skin and bones are to demonstrate, brain eaten slowly away. Crawling continues, back start to move, brain out beating, incense of...
Man, those guys are wicked as hell. The band Annihilation Process. Love that name, too.
Yeah, they're pretty sick. Never heard them before.
Yeah, I found them. This guy that I follow on Facebook, Riley Death Thrash, that's a good guy to friend. He sends out all sorts of updates on new albums out, or hey, like his version of a Lost Classic.
Right.
Killer. I mean, like the stuff he sends or posts is just like right up my alley most of the time. So this was one of those, and these guys are amazing. They're from Minneapolis. I actually got a hold of them, and that song was called Injected with Insects. You gotta love that. And they got this EP out called Sickening Madness, and just really dig those guys. So all out thrash, as you heard, just ripping like that the whole fucking time. Super tight guitar riffs. I mean, just crushing. So
Hell yeah, dude.
Good stuff. All right, and we got our buddy Tex on here with us tonight. And Tex, how's everything with you in the great state of Texas?
It's going real good, man. It's I know it's going to sound like summer temperatures.
Fuck
to
you,
y'all.
dude.
It's
I knew you were going to say some shit.
it's in the 30s and 40s here, so yeah, it's pretty cold to me, but
Yeah.
I'm sure it's summer to y'all.
We're getting snow.
Yeah, we got a little bit of snow
Yeah,
today, but not too bad.
Not terrible yet.
Just a little prep, like a kiss right before
Yeah,
it
just
happens,
like- A little dusting, if you will.
So we are
Don't go in raw.
we are celebrating the 200th episode with one good one tonight, but a little bit of frustration since it's an unsolved case technically. And we've done a few of those over the years. One that comes to mind, guys, is the Black Dahlia murder.
For sure.
That was a
Cut
good
in
one,
half.
old one, and yeah, brutal. And Zodiac. And there's probably others I don't remember offhand, but those were the two that
Yeah, those are the two
came
stick
to
out. I
mind.
can't honestly think of a lot that we've done that were unsolved.
No, we've talked about there's a few of them over the years that's still on the list. That I don't know. There's just something about the unsolved cases that usually I find like a bummer at the end. But this one is a little different. This one,
Yeah,
this one
definitely
I
different.
definitely dig it. And tonight, Chris, who are we going to do?
We are doing fucking DB Cooper.
Hell yeah.
Fucking, was it Dan Cooper?
Dan Cooper, yeah, the DB thing. We're going to get to that. It's just so funny how that stuck and became his name.
His moniker.
Yeah, the mysterious man with sunglasses and a business suit who jumped from a plane at night in November 1971, the day before Thanksgiving.
Day before, yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Freezing temperatures with $200,000 in cash tied to him. And they never found his body, but some of the money was found years later. We're going to get to all of this. And the mystery just endures now more than 50 years. So looking forward to it. And, you know, we've always, when we hit milestones, rather than make an episode of like the best ofs and like just rehashing what we've done, we just like to just say, you know what? It's cool we hit that shit, but we're going to keep fucking ripping.
Yeah, we're going to do what we do. Maybe find something a little interesting that's off topic.
I mean, there are some things we're doing tonight that are special, but we're just doing a good episode, and we're fucking all pumped about it. And Tex, you really wanted to get in on this, but what is it about DB Cooper that interests you?
I remember being a kid, man, and there was this made-for-TV movie that came out about DB Cooper. I don't remember the year or anything, but it was a big adventure for me watching that. You know, he was the dude that got away with it all. And then, like, I remember playing cops and robbers with the neighborhood kids. Everybody else would want to be like Clyde Barrow or, you know, people like that. I wanted to be DB Cooper.
Oh, shit.
And everybody's like, who's DB Cooper?
Yeah, who's that?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Dude that got, he's the dude that got away with it.
That's
man.
right.
It's awesome.
That's right. Yeah, it's an interesting case, that's for sure. So that's cool, and I think that's probably why most guys really like this story. And Chris, it is funny how some people just like we were just doing, celebrating this guy, and even have a little get together every year. I'm wondering if that maybe invite some people from the nation to go out there.
Fucking right, dude. Let's go celebrate DB. And like Tex said, it's basically because he is the fucking dude that
got away.
Basically got, because nobody knows if he lived or died or whatever.
Right.
Fucking some people are just like to think that like, yeah, he got away with that shit. I wish I could have done that. Fucking
yeah. I mean, we're gonna get into some of, you know, the theories of what happened, but, you know, to me, if they never found any remains, I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't have found him some way.
No parachute, nothing, dude.
The parachute and the fact that he just completely vanished. That just, it's an exciting, you know, it's one of those, you know, like the thing you dream about when you're a little kid, you know, getting away with a big, you know, lot of money, you know, that type of thing. And Joey, I mean, how familiar do you think current true crime fans are to this 50-year-old mystery?
It's a pretty classic story, but it's almost more of a story that your grandparents would know,
right?
More than just your average true crime guy, I think. I don't know. It's a very classic story. It was fucking a glamorized story,
right?
Definitely hit the presses pretty hard. So definitely one to check out. You know, I don't know if you're talking in true crime circles, like even some people with a deeper viewership might overlook this one.
That's true. That's true, because it is, you know, and it's not a murder. It's a bank heist or a hijacking heist, and just a crazy story for sure. It's got all the ingredients of just a cool thing, and it's funny because Tex, we're not recording video right now, but we can see you there sitting there all chill, and the picture behind you is Pogo, but the interesting thing, it's you dressed up as Pogo.
Yeah,
so
it's fucking pretty gnarly.
They can't see it, but we can. So yeah, this is just one of those stories that just really fascinates people. I mean, I started researching this and learned more like I always do. And, any of you who are not in the same boat I was in, I bet you're going to learn something about this guy tonight. So, a lot of people, I think, like with some of these cases we do, they've heard the name, maybe know some basic gist of the story, but we're going to dig into some details and always give a good, fun perspective on it. So it's a fascinating story. Now, just to set the thing straight here, we really don't know the name of the person that jumped out of that plane.
It might not be his real fucking name
Yeah,
at all.
I mean, very likely not his real name, right? I mean, you would think, but who knows? And this takes place the night before Thanksgiving in 1971. So at this time, domestic flights were like security
just commercial
free.
flights in general, just like nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking to some security guys from that time, and they were like, yeah, they could have brought a gun on there. We wouldn't have had any idea,
Right.
So pretty crazy to think of that in our era, So I wanted to remind those of you listening of that's a totally different time.
Definitely pre 9/11.
Big time, yeah. I mean,
Whoa.
1971, you know what I mean? So, you could have brought anything on board. They weren't checking anything. You didn't even need ID, which is why he just gave the name Dan Cooper. She wrote it down, and that was that. There's no dogs. There's no alarms. There's nothing.
X-ray fucking
Zero.
scanners.
Which is, again, very, very hard to believe. But for some of the younger audience out there, and even some of us older ones, you just got to kind of remind yourself that this is a totally different era.
I do think it's kind of funny, though, that we're doing this. And pretty much every day when I get home from work, I watch Jeopardy. And one of the fucking question things in Jeopardy today was like things that aren't allowed on an airplane by TSA. That was
wow.
That was one of the categories on Jeopardy today. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's fucking crazy.
That is funny. Now, Tex, it's funny that he bought a $20 one-way ticket in cash. I mean, could you imagine paying $20 to take an air flight,
Hey, man, me, Michael, and Cashman got our tickets to Florida for what was it, Cashman? $45 each?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I think it was cheap. I think they're like $24.
Yeah, they were cheap as shit at that time.
That's insane.
It was like
That's
mid-pandemic
insane.
shit.
I guess, but he's able to, go, and that's just amazing how cheap it was, and that he has this briefcase, nobody searches it. It's just hard to even put ourselves back in that time, in that mindset,
Yeah, and this is in the height of the airline hijackings and stuff of the 60s and 70s, like you said. It's a totally different world. They said they had a hijacking reported just about every week in the news.
Yeah, it's crazy as much as planes were getting hijacked then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, most of them were like young people looking to get to Cuba and stuff like that. That was most of the hijackings. But I think this is the first one that I saw that was purely for financial gain.
Interesting.
That's pretty unique.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very unique. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. So he's dressed in a suit, wore sunglasses, just looked like a businessman, like we were joking, with the picture, the sketch they did of him, looked like every other man at that time with the haircut and everything. So it's kind of like Zodiac, those sketches. It's just funny.
Right, just like everybody looks the exact same, dude.
Yeah. Now, Flight 305 on Northwest Orient Airlines from Portland to Seattle. It's a 30-minute trip, a little puddle jumper there. He sets himself in the last row of the plane, and witnesses describe him as a white male in his 40s with dark hair and brown eyes. And he has that briefcase and apparently a paper bag, and it was a Boeing 727.
That paper bag is what he was huffing his spray paint through. That was his huffing bag.
So, Chris, while he's on the plane, he seems pretty pleasant.
Just smoke cigarettes. You can smoke cigarettes on the plane.
I
God
know,
damn.
Right? Those Raleigh cigarettes.
Yeah.
That was his thing.
The ashtray on the armrest there and shit.
Right,
fucking hanging
right.
out.
Old school, man.
This is,
Yeah, and those apparently were the high-class cigarettes back then.
I saw that too. I'm not aware of that.
You got to smoke that shit with style, yo.
So he orders a bourbon and a 7-Up. And Chris is our alcohol expert, from Shawback Nation. I mean, is that an acceptable drink to consume before you jump out of an airplane?
Look, bourbon, if it's cold outside, you're going to need that warmth inside you. And bourbon will warm you up.
Okay.
I mean, you feel warm, but it doesn't warm you up.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, I'd drink a whole bottle of bourbon and be like, let's do this, boys.
With the 7-Up, though?
Just squeeze some lemon in there, dude. Be fucking delicious.
Okay. All right. I'm just, like Joey is our, gang expert.
Gang.
And, anything like that.
Yeah, bourbon and 7-Up, dude. I should have got some to drink.
Are you driving to Cleveland to get gas, Joey? Is that what you do? Or?
It ain't safe anywhere. No city at all.
God,
I should have got some bourbon and 7-Up to drink while we record.
Yeah, right. There's a crew of 6 with 37 passengers on board for this flight that takes off at 3:00 p.m. But things go from normal and chill to a little more fucking crazy with this trip. So, Joey, what's going on here? We got Dan Cooper, and he gets a hold of this flight attendant. What was the deal with that?
Well, he needs this flight attendant to get his little plan into action, and what he does is he slips her a note, and she's thinking, this is Florence Schaefer, it's her name. He slips her a note, and she's thinking that he's trying to hit on her.
As a flight attendant, I'm sure that happened all the time in the 70s.
I mean, okay, I'm not going to make flight attendant jokes because it's 2022. Because, we could get really funny about flight attendants.
Right.
Anyway, so he gives her the note, and it says, Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase. I want you to sit by me. He opens up the briefcase, shows her that he's not fucking around. Right. So, basically she knows that that's a serious situation, so she goes along with his plan. But he now has his hostage, I guess.
And nobody even knew if it was a real fucking bomb. Like, it looked like...
Right.
No, but are you going to fucking take
Fuck
that
no,
chance?
dude.
Exactly. Especially in light of all the hijackings, which really strikes me as odd that they didn't ramp up some kind of security. I mean, if all these hijackings are taking place, like, why wouldn't you have some measure to keep that shit off the plane? I don't understand it, but, again, it's just blowing my mind, really, to think of this shit going on. And, like...
Fucking Lufthansa.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
Lufthansa, nice. There's been quite a few other plane hijackings, as we've talked about, 15 high-profile cases in the U.S. from 1960 to when this happened in 71, like right up to the month it happened. So they were pretty frequent. And so once the word gets to the airline... Now you've got, obviously, FBI involved, lot of law enforcement, of course.
Everybody.
Getting their Thanksgiving plans canceled with one phone call.
Dude, most of them probably like, good, I didn't want to spend time with my in-laws.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Fuck,
Thank
I can't
you, dude.
stand my fucking Uncle Tim. What a dick. But, Tex, I mean, I know... we've talked with you when you were on your recent, escapee search and how that's a complete disruption. I mean, what kind of things are going on when that's happening?
Man, it's a total disruption. I can assure you of that. You just have to drop everything you're doing and get after it. For that escape, I missed a couple of big family events, a mini vacation.
Yeah.
Not to mention I was scheduled to be on Murder Metal Mayhem.
That's right.
For the Janine Jones episode.
That's right.
Do that.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was terrible. I mean, probably similar to, military guy going, getting an alert to go somewhere like right away, just a complete disruption.
Drop it all and go.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Chris, the captain notifies the airline Northwest about this demand he's got. What was it? What did he want?
That $200,000, which in today's money is like $1 million plus.
Right,
like,
1.5.
Is it 1.5? I knew it was over $1 million.
Yep.
So like, he's wanting fucking that $200,000 and fucking 2 sets of parachutes. One's the main back parachute and one's the reserve chest parachute, but he wants 2 sets. So
right,
he fucking obviously he's got a use for the other one, whether it's fucking a decoy or whatever. But
right,
he's asking for both sets. So and tells old girl to go to the cockpit and take note of everything. So like that way he knows what's going on with everything in the cockpit as well, because he's got the fucking obviously the pilots fucking doing what they got to do because they got to fly.
Right.
So fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
that's
seems like a better idea than the fucking chrome taco.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
talking about airplanes real quick. Did y'all see that shit in Dallas at the Dallas Air Show? Fucking 2 vintage World War II
Yeah.
planes
Oh, I
fucking
did
crashed
see that.
collided mid-flight. All 6 passengers or flight crew fucking died from both planes. That shit. I saw the video. That I was like, holy fuck,
I did
man.
see that. That was really terrible.
Yeah,
man.
that's fucking terrible.
Wow.
I remember that shit happened in Bloomington, right? Whenever I moved out there when I was younger, and they had the Blue Angels out at the Bloomington airfield, and they fucking that one ended up getting in a fucking
I remember that
going down, and the guy.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Right. So Florence is with the pilots. There's another flight attendant, Tina Mucklow. She winds up sitting with Cooper to act as a kind of go-between with him and the cockpit. He wants them to have fuel trucks ready for him in Seattle, where he's going to release the passengers. He gives them a deadline of 5 p.m., and the airline agrees to his demands and gets the money together in a knapsack, backpack, whatever you want to call it.
All fucking 20s.
Yeah, because he didn't specify how he wanted it. So they think that, that we're going to get to that, but that's definitely a question I've got.
Right.
The plane had to circle for like 2 hours while the airline and the police are getting things ready for this next flight that he's supposed to take. The passengers are told, they're going to be delayed, and probably just here's some peanuts and chill the fuck out. But that's probably better. Joey, that was the case that they didn't know, because I think they would have been freaking the fuck out, right?
I mean, they were probably fucking. The idea was probably already fucking murmuring throughout the population of the plane. I would imagine.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's something's going on.
It was such small quarters that I don't know if they could have completely hid that from everybody. But back then, that's fucking scary as fuck. Like, what the fuck? Something, possibly you might go down on this airplane. Right. And even to this day, in 2022, the thought of somebody on a plane with a bomb or something is still equally as scary as fuck.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Desensitization does nothing in a case like that. That's a fucking big fear to have. Is every time you go up in an airplane, you gotta worry about the mechanics of the plane. You gotta worry about the other passengers if they're fucking nutty.
Right.
If the pilot's fucking having a depressive moment or whatever. It's so many things to think about, and you don't try to do that because you're just trying to normalize your day and enjoy whatever you're doing. But these people back then, I mean, this is even further back whenever this shit was way newer to them. And something like that, I don't know. If you didn't have pure pandemonium on that plane, then everybody did pretty good, or they really did keep it pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'm just amazed, because he wanted that Tina, the second flight attendant, to stay with them at all times, and she would later tell the cops that he definitely knew the area because he was looking out his window and he said something about looks like Tacoma, and she said that's where they were.
Right.
So he definitely was familiar with that area, which I thought was interesting. You know?
Like as far as like the passengers and shit, their thoughts, and like kind of like I think it was Die Hard 2 where they can't land the plane and they're circling around. They're like, how much fuel is on this fucking plane? Like, how long can we stay in the air with this fuel that's in the fucking plane, man? Like, you're circling around that long. Like, you're only supposed to be on a 30-minute flight, so
how much fuel?
In that fucking plane?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Now, Tex, we were just talking the other day about the whole money and how it seemed like a small amount, but like Chris said, you know, it's like $1.5 million. But you know, you were talking about the weight of the money and some of that. Did you want to kind of expand on that?
Yeah, I wasn't airborne in the Army, but I was air assault, and weight has a lot to do with pretty much everything in flight. So I know every time, like today, when I hand somebody a $100 bill, they look at me funny.
Right.
And do the old counterfeit checks with the pen and looking at it through the light and shit.
Right.
So I think he weighed the options of taking hundreds and taking 20s and kind of went with, okay, $200,000 in 20s is going to weigh this much.
Right.
So I can handle that with my parachute.
That makes sense,
so
dude.
I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, because think about it, too. In 1971... going somewhere breaking hundreds would definitely draw a lot more attention than it would today. When, you know, to fill up your fucking gas tank, it would take $100, you know?
Yeah, but filling a gas tank back then cost like 3 cents.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it did.
So that's a good
days.
point. That's a good point that he would have wanted the 20s so he could get rid of them real easy. And like you said, if he calculated and he thought it was all right, then... you know, that's definitely part of the decision to do the whole thing. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting because you brought that up, and I hadn't thought of that angle of it with the weight. So, you know, the passengers are eventually released, and the knapsack with the $200,000 and the parachutes are brought on board. Apparently, he told the flight attendant that sat with him. That he said, I don't have a grudge against your airline. It's just because I have a grudge. So
just in general.
Yeah. So that's what he told her. And this is going to be
because I need money, bitch.
This is going to be important later when they try to figure out who the fuck did this, you know, trying to build a profile. You know, this would have been in the early days of that for sure. Someone with a grudge is definitely a good motivator. You know, and that would point them in some different directions of who this might have been. The Unabomber would be a great example of that. You know, somebody that hated the world, hated, you know, modern technology and things like that.
Want to destroy everything.
Yeah, and just this wacky.
Also, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she had a
oh yeah,
god damn it.
That was good. So yeah, I mean, there's, you know, interesting cases like that where these people have these just intense grudges, like the Unabomber that wrote that crazy 40-something page manifesto.
Jesus.
Which is, you know, just, it's kind of chilling, you know. Now, the flight attendant told him that she was from Minneapolis since he responded with that he thought Minneapolis was a nice country. So
it's a whole nice country.
Yeah, or he just thought it was nice country, I think is what he said. But got agitated when she asked him where he was from, so that's kind of weird. Of course, all this would be important. He's also chain smoking these fancy ass cigarettes that he's got.
Hey, dude, man, cigarettes are expensive.
Yeah, well,
especially now, dude.
Back then, they were like a quarter, right?
Yeah, they're like $10 a pack now. Fuck.
Yeah, that's insane.
I need to quit.
Yeah, well, you know, you know, she had said that she had quit. He offered her a cigarette, but she took it anyway. Probably didn't want to get him pissed off, is my guess. Now, Chris, even though flight crews trained for stuff like this, it's before 9/11, as we've been saying, but I'm thinking that some of this, just even a metal detector, were they around in 1971?
I'm sure they were.
I think so,
Like, apparently you just trusted everybody that got on a plane back then. It's just they just want to get to their destination. Ain't nothing bad going on, but yet there's still planes getting hijacked constantly. So
right.
You'd think you'd want to up security a little bit, especially people bringing on suspicious looking fucking baggage and shit. Like,
a briefcase could be
need to come
opened up
over here
quick.
real quick and let me see what's in there.
Right.
Like,
it just seems crazy that there's not something in place. It seems
like you said, no, you didn't even
really
need an ID
ridiculous.
to get on the fucking plane.
Right.
Like,
here's $20. Yeah, my name's Dan, and I'm on the plane. Now, Joey.
And keep the drinks.
The drinks are coming, baby.
Did you see, Joey, that the man identified as the cowboy? Did you see about that?
Is that text?
I don't know. See, I saw the mention of the cowboy, but this would have been a little pretext there, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, the dude with the cowboy hat, they were calling him the cowboy, and fucking, he was over there by where the flight attendant, the DB, had talked to, and fucking, apparently there was an altercation about that. But.
Yeah. Well, he was, pissed off, and he asked the flight attendant if he was an air marshal and to not talk to him again. So it kind of got weird with that whole
that
deal.
Dude looks. I'm the shady one here, but that dude looks shady
exactly.
on the opposite side. So.
So he didn't like the cowboy very much. Thought he looked like an air marshal.
No.
So he got all weird. And there's contradictory accounts of that exchange because the flight attendant remembers it very differently. So who knows? Like we always talk about on these stories, is there's things sometimes that just don't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And, maybe in the moment, that's just how it went down. Now, the money they put in the knapsack was 10,000 20s, and they took pictures of it to have all the serial numbers.
Could you imagine looking at a stack of $10,000 $20
I know,
bills?
that's crazy.
Like, wait a minute.
Wow.
Nice.
The serial number part of this is going to come up here in a little bit.
Yeah, that's crazy what they did with that.
Yeah, I still wonder why, he didn't want some 50s, but, I guess as long as he calculated it, like Tex says, then I think that makes a lot of sense. I probably should stop harping on that. But, Cooper and the flight attendant has the flight attendant bring the money in and the parachutes. So kind of, like, hey, woman, go get my parachutes. Is that how he is?
That's how it works.
I guess. I'm smoking these Raleigh cigarettes, bitch. Go out and get my parachute.
Go get my motherfucking parachute.
And my money.
Woman, where is my super suit?
Come on now. So poor Tina is just doing what she's told just to try to keep this dude chilled the fuck out. So it was just them and the crew in the cockpit were the only people at that point on the plane. The plane was fueled, and Cooper told them that he wanted to go to Mexico City. The captain told them that's not possible due to the amount of fuel they would need, so they would need another refueling stop along the way. He gave Cooper the option of Phoenix or Reno, and he went with Reno. So
you got to gamble some of that money real quick.
I guess you got all those 20s burning up.
Oh yeah, dude.
So while they were in the air, he was able to lower the rear exit of the plane, which blows my mind. Here's another ridiculously dumb security thing. Like they said anybody could have started that process.
Right.
So you could get some nut job on the plane that just pushes a button and stairs drop out of the back of the airplane. Can't people get sucked in there? What the fuck?
Well, he had them going at a certain speed to where they didn't need to pressurize the cabin and shit.
Right.
They were at lower than 10,000 feet or whatever. They're only going like 200 knots or whatnot. So they didn't, like you said, didn't have to pressurize it. So they're just cruising with it.
But I'm saying, like, for like other times, like they're up high flying like normal.
Yeah,
like you get
normal,
some whack job,
just like,
pushes a button and these stairs
everybody's done.
Drop out of the back of the plane. Like that just like why not put a cover on that?
That don't make sense
or a
at all.
lock or something. You know, I don't want some drunk.
He was smart.
Fucking somebody from the nation fucking staggering down the aisle. Mike,
shit, man, what's this do?
Michael drank a fucking couple shots of Malort and got all crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, he like knew what he was doing though. He had some kind of experience, I think, because like tell him where to fly, what speed to fly, and like had the wings at a certain degree or whatever. Like he knew had experience with something going on there.
Yeah, he did have an interesting kind of mix of experiences here, I think, going into this. Because he seemed way too knowledgeable about it to just be like somebody reading it off a index card
off a
in their
manual
pocket,
or something.
So they're able to start this rear exit dropping out of the plane thing is just really freaking me out. He wants them to take off with it lowered, but they refuse for safety reasons. And so he also, like you said, Chris, wanted that cabin unpressurized. Now, Tex, it's puzzling that he rejects the military parachutes. So what did he wind up opting for his jump?
A couple of civilian parachutes. The difference between military back then and civilian parachute is you could steer. They had like handles, and you could steer a military parachute, but you could not steer a civilian one.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know why. I would wonder why you wouldn't want to steer it under any circumstances.
Right? Yeah, that don't make sense.
That just seems weird to me, unless it was...
no idea. I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, that's interesting, though.
I think that's why they have a strong opinion that he was... ex-military, special forces, airborne, something like that. And that he was highly experienced in like orienteering, airborne ops, and survival skills, stuff like that.
Yeah, it almost seems that way with, like we said, no sign of him, no sign of the parachute.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, like that's
just disappeared, man.
That's impressive.
He knew something.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Chris, why do you think he wanted so many options for the parachutes? I mean,
I think like the main parachute you want, and then obviously you're going to want a backup just in case. But I also think like maybe if he got the extra parachute, maybe like they would think, okay, he's fucking going to take a hostage and make them jump with him. So if they never know if he was going to take a hostage, they couldn't know which parachute the hostage would get, so they couldn't make one not work.
I was wondering if that's why he wanted all the options to minimize that from being a thing.
They couldn't just make it.
But that's a really good point about the hostage. I never thought of that.
Yeah, because
they're not going to want to kill the hostage.
Yeah, they're not going to want to put the hostage in a fucking situation where they're ultimately falling to their death.
Right.
So, and they're not going to know which parachute they get. So there you go.
There you go, Shawback Nation. Yeah.
Hey, what up?
Very impressive. Very impressive. He had to put some of the money in the parachute bag from one of the chutes he didn't take, since they gave him the money in a cloth bag instead of the knapsack that he asked for. He ties the money to the front of him, and the FAA demands a meeting with Cooper on the plane before they leave, but he says, fuck you. And he gave the pilots instructions to fly, as we've been saying, slow and all that. He gave them very detailed instructions. And, of course, this is all probably, as Tex said, a guy that knows what he's doing wants to, increase his chances of survival when he jumps, into what he's going to do here in a second. He tells Tina Mucklow to go to the cockpit and close the curtain in first class and not return. He wants her to lower the stairs, but she gets afraid that she's going to get sucked out of the plane. I'm with you, Tina. But he winds up doing it by himself, and then she asks him to take the bomb with him so he doesn't blow up the plane after he jumps. And he told her that he would, or that he would disarm it. And I'm sure the crew was freaking the fuck out. I mean, is this guy going to be, able to do that and blow this plane up? And he's already jumped to safety. So very, very interesting. And they did have an Air Force fighter jets tailing the plane, but it was just flying too slow.
Yeah.
So they basically were just circling.
Yeah, zigzagging serpentine.
Yeah. Now, Joey, at 8 o'clock p.m., the alarm goes off that the stairs are lowered. So what's going on in the fucking cockpit, you think?
I mean, they're like, okay, well, he's putting his plan into action. And they're like, hey, do you need any help with anything? Like,
right.
I don't know what all they could have helped him with, but and his only response was no. And then they felt the hitch of the aft stairs, and so they figured that's when he jumped.
Right.
And supposedly, somewhere over like the Portland area.
Yeah, at like 8:13, I think it said. So yeah.
I can't remember the Ariel.
Yes,
Washington.
Ariel Washington. Yes, like Little Mermaid.
They do like a festival.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. That party they do every year. So at 11:02, the plane lands in Reno with the rear stairway extended. That had to be a little hairy to fucking
dragging
land the
that
plane
shit on the ground,
with sparks and shit flying up. The crew didn't know if Cooper was still there or not, so they had to do a full search of the plane. Of course, he's gone. Now, Tex, the FBI bomb squad spent like 30 minutes going through the plane. I can't imagine the level of skill that it would take to really go through a plane like that and make sure there's no danger for people to go back in.
Yeah, man, I can't either. I know my pucker factor would be on high.
Right? Yeah, I mean, that's just got to be harrowing. You don't know.
Don't cut the wrong
right.
wire.
One step, move a cushion out of the way,
right.
and
Click.
boom, So very, very, nerves of steel for people that do that kind of thing. And then you got the media, which, is always a pain in the ass. And Tex, from your experience with that escaped inmate, what was that like dealing with the media and like social media and all that while you have something like that happening around you?
Luckily, we had a public information officer to take care of all the like media relations stuff. But of course, social media, man, that is very demoralizing. I know I read a whole lot of stuff, and the citizen reactions and their comments and stuff.
Right.
Pretty demoralizing for everybody.
I'm sure.
We got through it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the media just definitely, I've dealt with that in my day job with a situation that happened at with a customer, and it was just, it's terrible. The media just, we've said it before, if it bleeds, it leads, and that's what they're trying to do is sell news. So, it's the way it is, but it sucks when you're trying to deal with something, and like you said, with the social media stuff, people hating on whatever you're doing. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It just makes it, like you said, very demoralizing, and it's completely unnecessary. Now, the FBI recovered 66 latent fingerprints on the plane. I'm sure most of them were passengers.
Yeah, it was other people,
crew
obviously.
and stuff.
And even previous passengers. It's not like they're going down and wiping everything down.
That's true.
Fucking, not like today where they're spraying everything. Fucking.
Right, that's true. Now, they did manage to get Cooper's tie or clip-on tie. I thought that was funny, at a clip-on tie. But the unused parachutes, of course, they had that. his cigarette pack, and the glass that he drank from. But this would have been, way before DNA was a thing.
Yeah,
but
could you imagine if they had that DNA then?
I know. And
or if
I
they
wonder,
even had it
like,
now,
all
if
those
still.
cigarette butts. and
yeah,
shit.
why did they,
Yeah.
did they keep any of that? Because I did see on one documentary, the FBI agent laid out what he said was everything they have on the case. And all it is the cigarette pack, the clip-on tie, and and the money that turns up later.
Yeah, it does make it does seem kind of strange that before he gets out of the plane, of all things, he's like, fuck this tie, and tosses it back in the plane.
Right? Yeah, and it's funny because the tie is an interesting thing I just found out about. That just broke. The news story broke about the tie being analyzed. As we get to the end of the story, I'll talk about that. It's kind of fascinating that it popped up literally right when I was getting ready for this episode. So that was good timing. But the FBI would put a crazy amount of man hours into figuring this one out. And they've got those sketches, the ones we were kind of laughing about, from witnesses who saw him. They're looking at pilots who were fired. We talked about the whole grudge factor here. Guys with military jump experience, as Tex was saying, lots of things like that. The amount of people they suspected over the years of being Cooper is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it makes my head hurt watching the documentaries when they run through those.
This guy.
There's that docuseries. I'm going to bring it up here in a minute, but it was good, but it starts to get where I'm just like, okay, I'm overloaded with all these scenarios. And so that's why instead of doing that tonight, I thought we would talk about the latest one. And it is fascinating because it just came out at the time we're doing this. So the timing is good. But it's, there's just a lot of suspects. They got, I'm not faulting anybody. I'm just saying that it's just there's so much of it. It's like, where do you stop?
Right.
Now, Chris, when they looked in the general area where they believe Cooper would have landed, they weren't finding shit.
Nah, it was like just saying Ariel fucking Washington.
Right.
But no fucking, couldn't find no money, couldn't find him.
Right.
No parachute, no signs of anything, which I think is messed up. But there was water, different bodies of water, a river and fucking lake.
Right.
If he landed in that and it's cold shit, fucking in the middle, if you just land in the middle of a lake or a raging river in the middle
with a parachute,
yeah, with a parachute, that's going to drag you down. But it also could have landed safely and just tucked that shit and just bounced.
Yeah, I mean it's very possible, but like Chris said,
Either
that
scenario.
Lake Merwin and the Lewis River, there's a lot of water there that he very likely could have landed in, and at those temperatures, not sure. Even a guy that's been there, done that, the survivalist type. I mean, a human being can only endure so much ice cold water. That's for sure.
Those temperatures are not lasting very long. Hypothermia is going to set in fucking fast as fuck.
Right. Now, Joey, I read that the FBI says in 2019 that there was, the FBI said this in 2019, that there was a burglary within 3 hours of the jump in a town within the drop zone that they suspected. And the guy only took beef jerky and some gloves. And I wondered if, of course, they're alluding to that it could have been him, but what do you think?
I mean, it definitely possibly could have been
Right.
Beef jerky.
If you've already gone through that much fucking shit and done that many crimes and shit, what the hell is one more real fast?
Right.
On the other hand, or you just did all that shit, you're trying not to drag attention to yourself, and you got all this money. Why would you go steal some shit like that when you could just
you got all that money?
Be quiet about it and get the fuck out of town. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. The possibility that he could have did it's there. In my opinion, I always thought that DB Cooper I thought that he did get away with it, and the only reason I've always thought that is because his plan up to this point is so fucking
and
insane.
worked
On a regular... and it worked all the way up to this point, so... If it worked all the way up to that, like, this motherfucker got on an airplane in real life and fucking, basically fucking directed it and got his fucking, the money and like, if you've gotten all the way to this last point, he probably had it worked out that he knew what the fuck he was doing. So I thought maybe he always got away with it, but that's just like, that's the great mystery of this story is you don't really know, and you can see the reasons why the other way too makes sense. Just
it is very, very interesting. Now, like I said, we could fill hours talking about all these different suspects. It's amazing with this one, especially 50 years later. Now, the Netflix series that came out earlier this year, that got a lot of people kind of energized about this story again. I watched it. I thought it was pretty good. I did, like I said, get mired down in all the different suspects. I did read an article that was posted just last week of the latest person that one investigator from Vancouver, a guy by the name of Eric Ullis, believes that DB Cooper is this Vince Peterson, who they found some titanium on that tie. So they had the tie analyzed. They found a unique titanium that's very rare, that only comes from one place in the United States, which is this lab in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And Vince Peterson worked in that lab. So that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
that they found something on that tie that's that unique,
like
that
a signature,
could be tied to literally a guy that works right there where it's used or made or whatever they do there. I don't know. There are some issues with this guy, which I'm going to talk about. The guy that said this, the guy from Vancouver. Vince Peterson died, though, in 2002, but his family talks to Ullis and said that they never knew of Vince to skydive. He never smoked. Like all the things they
claimed. It was a smoke screen, man.
Yeah, about DB Cooper, was that, he, smoked and this and that. And they said that was not him. They allowed him to search the property, and nothing is found, that would say that he had any involvement with it. Only that he worked in this lab where the titanium fibers were on the tie, which I think is very fascinating.
Ain't like this dude was the only dude that worked in that lab, though.
That's true, but there's some other things that tie him to it. That's why they were able to say that they thought maybe he was like on vacation. I don't remember what it was about it. But there's a lot of stuff that's been said over the years. I just think it's cool, with this kind of brand new one here to bring up the latest news on who might be the person. But Tex, what do you think about this one? I mean, will we ever know who old Dan Cooper was?
I don't think we'll ever know, but I think it's Rackshaw.
Yeah.
Got to watch that documentary. I still think it's that Rackshaw.
Yeah,
guy.
I remember he was a big part of that docuseries.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's so many people that were or still are suspects, like you said, man.
Yeah, there was one guy who was a pilot who's like a brother or somebody said he bought a house with cash like a month after that happened. And it's like, that makes you wonder, So there's just so many of those, though. I mean, honestly, you could just go on and on with it. It's a fascinating thing. I think, you just love the mystery of it all and want to kind of almost root for him, kind of like Walter White or Tony Soprano. You know what I mean? DB Cooper is in that same conversation, except he's real. a real guy that did that, you know.
Yeah, and then you got all these people making all these deathbed confessions saying that they're DB.
Right.
Yeah, there's multiple of them. Yeah, there's only one.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. It was me. Well, where's the money then, motherfucker?
I thought it was funny, you know, because he said Dan Cooper at the airport. The media somehow, I don't know where they got the DB thing, but that stuck because they thought it sounded better than Dan Cooper, which it kind of does. You know, it's kind of cool.
Right.
So at least it's not the first initial and then the middle name like I hate, you know, like L. Ron Hubbard, you know, it drives me fucking nuts.
Hey, Chris. We know a Danny
Yes, we
Cooper.
did. Yes, we did.
That's a classic motherfucker.
That is definitely a classic motherfucker.
So the fictional character, though, this was very interesting. Dan Cooper is in the French comic series, which is a very interesting angle because they wondered if the person that did this was Canadian, maybe a French-Canadian pilot, a military pilot who liked to jump. This is also, you know, the reason that he chose the name because in the comic he jumped out of planes,
right?
And he flew them. He was a pilot, so you know that's a very interesting thing that you would think maybe that's why he gave her that fake name as kind of a little inside joke to himself.
Right?
You know, yeah,
check it out. I'm about to do this.
Exactly. So it makes you wonder if that's where that came from, but I don't think anybody really knows that. Now, we've been mentioning this little town, Ariel, Washington, very small town. They do this big annual party the weekend after Thanksgiving to celebrate old D.B. Cooper.
Shit, yeah.
Which looks like it's pretty wild. And then there's also the Cooper Con in Vancouver. Now, remember the guy I told you about, old Eric Ullis, the guy from Vancouver that's claiming that this Vince Peterson is him and the titanium? That guy is the guy that's behind CooperCon. So I kind of wonder, was that a publicity stunt to help sell tickets to the CooperCon?
Very well could be.
Or is it real? I don't know.
I just want to know
I
if
really
at the
don't.
fucking at the celebration in fucking Ariel, if they have like aerial acrobat shows and shit, planes flying, skydivers doing their shit.
Maybe.
Because that would be awesome.
That would be kind of cool.
And then everybody's just throwing out 20s. Like at the parade, instead of candy, they're just throwing out 20s.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's got all these interesting things, but the conventions and the party, it's just wild, you know. I think it's cool. Hey, you want to go support and root for the good bad guy, then you know that's your prerogative, I guess, right? Anything to add to this one, guys? It's definitely a good topic for us.
No, it's fucking. It's fun to talk about, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
like I said, the guy that got away with it.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's definitely got a cool feel to it, and you know, like we said, the Walter White, the Tony Soprano, D.B. Cooper in that same conversation.
But this is a real person.
Exactly. I did my research by watching a couple documentaries and that 4-part series that Tex mentioned. I'm assuming this is the same one, Tex. D.B. Cooper, Where Are You? The one that was on Netflix.
Yeah, that's the one, man.
Is that like an episode of Scooby-Doo?
There's quite a bit of stuff out there on D.B. Cooper. You can only imagine, you know, this many years and it's still unsolved. So anytime you have cases that are unsolved, you know, an interest peaks when a new series comes out like that. Just like the Dahmer thing is blown up because of that Dahmer series. People definitely, you know, want to root for a guy that, you know, got away with it and had some brass fucking balls jumping out of that plane.
And just calm as shit about it. I even saw that he like offered to fucking still pay for his drinks that he was drinking to the stewardesses.
Oh, wow.
Like, just calm, like, yep, just going about my day.
Interesting.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tex,
Yes, sir.
was that movie that you were talking about called The Pursuit of D.B. Cooper? And
Yes, it was.
And did it had Robert Duvall played D.B. Cooper? Yeah, he
Holy
plays D.B.
shit.
Cooper.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That is it.
I was looking it up because I got to watch it now.
Yeah, it
So
was
thank
good.
you.
Well, I was a kid back then, so, I thought it was good. I don't know how good it actually is.
Oh, I bet it's classic.
Yeah, I'd like
as
to
hell.
check
I'm
that
gonna
out.
check it
Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. I think that if you're interested in a topic, go ahead and dig in and watch some different things. Don't always just watch one source and go, "Oh yeah, that's what happened," because sometimes you get differing opinions. Now, Tex, as always, thanks for coming on with us.
Oh, yeah,
we
dude.
love having
Love
you
that
on.
shit.
And the 200th episode.
Hey,
You're a
thank
big
y'all,
favorite
man.
with the ladies that listen, as you've heard from some of the commenters. Now, before we let you
Making me blush, man.
go, we've been talking about something on here, a new little bit, and we normally wouldn't do it in this section, but since you're here with us,
Got to have it while he's
we
here.
wanted you to kind of kick it off. And here's the backstory for the listeners. I was working on a short story that takes place in Texas, and I came up with a funny fake name of a town. So I sent Tex a message, and I said, "Hey, man," I told him what I was doing. I said, "I came up with this name of this town called Scruff Holler." And he thought it was funny, and he's like, "There's some really funny town names in Texas, and you shot me like 3 or 4 of these." And I was losing my shit. So I
they're
thought,
fucking classic.
we need to have Tex on to tell us those town names, and especially the one with the
Yeah.
with the really funny name that we were laughing about. So what are some of those, Tex?
All right, I got 3 for y'all this
And
time.
have you ever been to any of these
And-
places?
As a matter of fact, yes, and I bet you have to, but you don't
Oh,
realize.
okay.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how they got their name, and I'm going to give you 2 scenarios, and y'all got to pick which one is
Oh,
the truth.
nice.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
All right.
So the first one is the one we talked about. Of course, Pete, you're going to get this one. Cut and shoot.
Yeah. Cut and shoot. That's a hell of a name for a
I
town,
love
man.
that, man. That's so cool.
Yeah. So how did they name it? Was it because there was a fight there, and this dude yelled out, "I'm going to cut you, and then I'm going to shoot you"? Or was it because they had a town-wide dispute over some land, and some kid yelled out, "I'm going to cut around the corner and shoot through the bushes in a minute"?
Oh, I'm going with the second one.
Which one was
The
it?
second one.
I'm going to go with
Yeah.
B. Yep.
Well, of
Second.
course, I
That's
know the
right.
right answer. Yes, they're both correct. Yes.
Yep.
That's so ridiculous. Like,
Yep.
why would that inspire your naming a town that?
Because it's fucking cut and shoot, baby.
All right. Well, we got cut and shoot. What else we got,
and
Tex?
All right. Latex.
Latex. Oh, that's where they make rubbers, bro.
Hey. It was named because there was a Trojan condom factory in town, or it's named because it's on the border of Louisiana and Texas.
Oh man, please tell me it's because of it's on the border.
Yeah, I'm saying that it's on the border.
I wanted to.
I
be
wanted to be the condom thing, but
It's
yeah,
on the
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And the last one, Pete, I think you've been here. It's close to Fort
Okay.
Hood. So you may have driven through there when you went down to Austin, maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the town is named Ding,
Ding
Dong.
dong. I love that.
Ding Dong.
Oh, God.
It's named after some of the town folks that couldn't pronounce its original name, which was Phallus.
which was what?
Or it's named Ding Dong because some of the town folks couldn't pronounce its original name,
Okay.
Phallus. Or it was really named for Julius and Bert Bell, whose nicknames were Ding Dong, who owned the country store in town.
Oh my God. I'm going with B as well.
I'll go with B.
It would be cool if it was named Phallus.
That's good. Yeah, Phallus. Yeah, that's good.
I was hoping that it got named that because every kid in town, that's what their favorite thing to do is play Ding Dong Ditch.
Or I thought you were going to say that there was a Ding Dong factory there, you know.
Yeah. Or they named it after my brother because I call him Ding Dong all the time.
That's right. Well, that's pretty good, and I'm sure we could come up with a bunch of these funny town names. So
oh my God, there's some good ones.
We'll have to come up with a way to kind of rotate that around when we're divvying up things.
Yeah.
So we'll come up with that. But
what is that? What was it? The Toy Box Killer. What was that town that named after the game show?
Oh, Truth or Consequences.
Truth or Consequences. Yeah,
that's a weird. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
All right, so the next episode we're going down under again, guys.
Australia, mate.
Going to Australia, talking some Roger Rogerson. You got to love that name, but this guy was a horrible piece of shit. Started out as a decorated police officer and got into selling drugs on like a huge fucking scale. Murders are involved, women, shooting people through windows right in front of their family,
corrupt
like
shit.
Fucked up, very corrupt.
Cut and shoot.
So Roger Rogerson next week. I had a conversation with our Australian listener and friend, 666 Clubber Mick. He was on with me. Had a great time talking to him. 50 minutes. And almost all of it was on old Roger Rogerson. So got some good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That I'll use in the episode. And then we'll release the full episode with Mick right after that comes out. So definitely going to be a good one next week. So good Australian case. And, you know, the Australians, I'm telling you, when it comes to gangland, mafia type shit, prostitution, any of the vice crimes, major drug stuff going on, you would be surprised how much of it happened in Australia. I mean, and these guys are fucking nuts. I mean,
well, they're Australian. They're fucking nuts.
They're doing some crazy ass shit. Yeah. It's going to be a good one next week, Roger Rogerson. So, all right, Joey, you got any good page of days for us?
I got a few of them. Fucking checking it out. I'm going to burn through them. I got 3. The first one. So they're talking about Aku Yadav. Aku Yadav, he terrorized Kasturba Nagar, which was an impoverished neighborhood in Nagpur, India, without repercussion. Starting in 1991, he was arrested for dozens of crimes, including murder, but he was always set free. His primary tool of torment was sexual violence. Yadav and his gang raped women and girls as a means to emasculate and control the local men. Admitting to being raped was taboo in India, but many women reported the crimes anyway and were mocked and laughed at and abused by police.
Imagine.
Fucked up.
The neighborhood reached a boiling point in August 2004. On August 6th, hundreds of residents smashed Yadav's empty house to rubble. Police suggested that he surrender himself for his own protection, and he did. He surrendered himself. On August 13, as rumors swirled that Yadav would be released, a mob of 200 women showed up at the courthouse. The police laughed at the women, but they soon fled as the mob overtook Yadav, throwing chili powder in his face, stoning him, and stabbing him 70 times on the marble floors of the district court.
God damn.
Over the next decade, 7 women and 15 men were arrested in connection with his murder, but by 2014 they had all been cleared. There were no witnesses among the mob who would testify against
fucking
him.
McAvoy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ken McAvoy.
Yeah. All right. We're going to Alabama for the second one. So
Alabama.
Hell yeah. So on October 30th, 1987, Postmaster Opal Johnson was at the post office in Eppes, Alabama. Two men walk in and ask to buy stamps, and as Opal opens the stamp drawer, one of the men pulled out a gun and announced it's a robbery. Both men jumped over the counter and began to ransack the post office. They found $700 and demanded more money from Opal. She only had $1.38 on her, so the robbers decided to take her hostage. One robber drove ahead as the second robber held Opal at gunpoint in her car. The robbers drove to a remote area a few miles outside Eppes, and they pulled over. They forced Opal to hand over her rings, credit cards, and then locked her in her trunk. She could hear the men, while she was in the trunk, talking about whether they should leave her or drive the car into a lake.
Fuck, man.
When the men eventually drove away, she used a tire iron to pop the trunk open from the inside and made her escape. Within an hour, she had provided police with a detailed sketch of both assailants, but the men have never been found.
No shit.
Wow.
God damn, that's
Crazy. Page a day, man.
Let's go rob a fucking post
so
office.
this is the
That's
last
dumb.
one. This one I should have saved this for next week because it's Australian. But anyway, this one's talking about some just wild Australian crimes and fines that you can get. In South Australia, it is illegal to sell a fridge with a capacity of 12 gallons or more unless all doors can be opened from the inside, or it was brought into the state before January 1st, 1962. The penalty is a fine of 750 Australian dollars.
Well, hold on. More than 12 gallons? That's not a very, very big fucking refrigerator,
small,
man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, if you go to Western Australia, it's illegal if you clean up large amounts of poop from seabirds or bats. If you don't have a license, you will go to jail for up to
For cleaning up poop?
So you can't, you can't collect guano or fucking seagull shit. In Western Australia, it's also illegal to carry a weapon, except for electrified briefcases.
Wait.
Okay. That's a good idea. God damn.
And the last one they're saying is also Western Australia. It is illegal to be in possession of more than 100 pounds of potatoes unless you have purchased the potatoes from a grower or retailer authorized by the Potato Corporation. Police can search a vehicle suspected of carrying more than 100 pounds of potatoes. The penalty is a fine of 2,000 Australian dollars for a first offense and 5,000 Australian dollars for subsequent offenses, plus up to twice the value of the potatoes.
My God. What are they hating on fucking potatoes, gee?
So
Talking
that's
about
page a
government
day for
control. Holy shit.
God damn. I'm
the fuck?
trying to make some French fries over
100
here,
pounds
man.
of potatoes. I mean, Jesus, God damn. All right, page a day. Good stuff, man. Always good. All right, well, we have done our fair share of murdering tonight. Tex, we appreciate you coming on with us tonight. So
Yes,
what
we
the
do.
hell do we need to do?
Let's get our 200th episode metal on.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you.
All right, and as we do the 200th episode,
Yeah.
CK definitely looking down on us, horns fucking high.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Got CCK here right behind us all the time. So long live the great metal motherfucker, that's for sure. All right. And since the great metal motherfucker is not here, what we've been doing is we pass the horns around every week.
Taking turns.
Taking turns. And Chris, it's your turn. You got the horns there.
They're right here by the computer.
Okay, you got the goat horns.
Fuck yeah.
And it's your turn, and you got to pick the band or topic that we're doing.
Yeah. So I decided I was going to do fucking... I know last week I said I was going to try and think of something different, but I just, like, got busy and couldn't think of nothing. I was just doing what I'm going to do anyway. Fucking, so I picked fucking Nervosa. And like you said, Pete, Nervosa's fucking female vocalist shit, but Nervosa is a fucking all-female band, thrash death metal band from fucking Sao Paulo, Brazil, that formed in 2010. So yeah, every member of the band is a female. It's fucking...
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, fucking badass shit. And it was started, like I said, in 2010 by guitarist Precum Amaral and drummer Fernanda Terra. Now they had throughout, and they're still active today, and throughout their time from 2010 to now, there's been multiple fucking lineup changes, but it's still always been all female. But multiple lineup changes. I'm not going to go through all that because there's a bunch of them.
Right.
So this is going to be kind of short because there's not a whole lot on them that I could find, whatever, but I'm just kind of going to go through their fucking albums and fucking basically where they're at now as far as...
Yeah, they were on that
shit.
Angelus Apatruda tour.
Yeah. So yeah, they fucking... They like I said, they came out in 2010 from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Fucking in 2012, they put out their first demo fucking called Time of Death. And then in 2014, they put out their first full-length Victim of Yourself, which I believe, if I remember right, was on Napalm. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. And then in 2016 was their second full-length album, fucking Agony, which is a fucking great album. I fucking was just jamming that the other day. Fucking, I just love their shit. Fucking, and then in 2018... fucking Downfall of Mankind came out, their third full length, and their fourth, most recent full length, Perpetual Chaos, was in 2021, and they have just started recording for their fifth full length, just recently this year. So hopefully next year they're going to be coming out with a new album. Now, I didn't catch a title for it or anything like that, but it's just deathy, thrashy fucking metal with all females just tearing shit up. Fucking, I've like not just like videos that you make for YouTube, but live videos. They're like stage presence is fucking amazing. They're fucking badass and shit. And fucking, like I said,
that's cool, man.
They've had, like I said, they've had multiple lineup changes, and their current lineup is still Prika Ariel fucking on guitar, and she's the only original member left in the band. She's one of the founding members and only original member. And then on vocals, they got Diva Satanica. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Fucking, and she came a band called Blood Hunter, which I'm not familiar with. I need to check them out. I'm curious what they're like. And then Mia Wallace on bass, who played bass for fucking Abath, and I think that's how you... Black metal dude, fucking... Yeah. Is that how you pronounce that?
I think so. Joey, is that Abath?
I'm not 100% sure.
Abath.
Yeah, Abath. Yeah, she played bass for them for a while. Fucking... Now she's playing bass for Nervosa. And Nanu Villa Alba, Jesus Christ, on plays drums for him right now, and that's their current lineup. And they recently did a tour... their most recent tour, they headlined a tour in Europe for, or South America, whatever, for their most recent album, The Perpetual Chaos. And they just got fucking badass guitar riffs that they fucking just shred, and I fucking love them. And just
cool.
Go check them out, man. If you haven't heard Nervosa, they're fucking amazing, dude. Just go check them out. I love them.
That's cool.
The last two metal segments that Chris has done, the band has had a full length called Agony.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh shit, they did. Holy fuck.
That's weird.
I didn't even think of that, dude.
Oh yeah, all right. I got the Lost Classic this week, guys, and I'm going back to 1983 with the Merciful Fate classic, Melissa. Their first full length, amazing shit. They're still on that tour. It ends this week. and I saw that they're coming out with 2 new songs. One of them is the Jackal of Salzburg, the one that they've been playing on the tour. But apparently they've got another song they're going to record. And then those will be released streaming. And then King Diamond will then go and record their next album. And then after that, then another Merciful Fate full length. So
just getting her done.
King Diamond not fucking around, man. 66 years old. I mean, holy shit.
He's riding this shit out to the end.
He is, just doing some really amazing things. I'm just so impressed at his age. Being able to sing like that is just unreal. So very cool. Definitely one of my favorites of all time. It's one of the bands that got me into the more extreme metal. Venom, Slayer, Merciful Fate, definitely in that conversation. All right, what has everybody been listening to, Chris? What about at the Nation, man?
Obviously, fucking
Nervosa,
because I've been checking them out. Fucking, I don't really get into them very much, but Strapping Young Lad, I can't remember the album, but I don't know. Devin Townsend's cool and all. I never really got into him, but I was jamming some Strapping Young Lad the other day. Fucking some cool shit. And then
I saw them open for somebody. It might have been Creator.
Right.
They were badass.
Yeah. And just other than that, I can't think of anything offhand. Just random stuff always.
That's cool. What about you, Joey?
I was listening to Blood Duster because we were talking about them.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Since we're doing an Australian thing next week.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play them. Definitely going to play them.
Yeah. And eventually, I'm sure somebody will do Blood Duster, but that's not who I'm going to do. But anyway, I was listening to them. I was also listening to Animal Activity, which is my buddy's band from DeKalb, Mike. I was listening to fucking some Divine Pestilence, Oklahoma Serial Killer Grind. R.I.P. to them. And also the new fucking about to be released Desecrate the Faith 3 fucking album, Texas Death Metal. Shit is so fucking sick. John Holm, Gorgasm on vocals on that.
Nice.
Very, very heavy album about to get released. So
very cool.
Check that out.
Very, very cool. I've been jamming. I mentioned the Merciful Fate stuff. Deatherus. That's Detherous. Deatherus. They're from Canada. I think they're from British Columbia. Really, really good band, death metal. And they've got a brand new album called Unrelenting Malevolence. Very badass. Definitely digging that. I purchased it. I advanced ordered it on Bandcamp and forgot all about it. And then I got an email Friday and it was like, oh, it's out. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. So really, really good. And then that band I played at the beginning of the show, Annihilation Process, and the EP Sickening Madness. Really, really, really good, heavy stuff. So loving that shit, man. Love finding new bands and, passing the word on to others. So bands, if you want to get played on the show, you can get a hold of us, Pete at murdermetalmayhem.com. There's no guarantee we'll play it, but we'll check it out and we'll get back to you. And if we want to maybe do a feature or review or whatever, we'll let you know. But we, love to check it out. So send it. And if you want to go old school, you can send it to Murder Metal Mayhem, P.O. Box 554, Hayworth, Illinois 61745. And I don't check it every day like I used to now that I get mail to my house like a real person. But Joey sent me some stickers and he's like, hey, did you get those stickers? Like, oh, I got to go check the P.O. box. So,
right.
So I don't get to the P.O. box as quickly as I used to, but I'll get there. And if you want to throw some stickers in, that's cool. We love putting them on the door now because we're running out of real estate on the table.
Yeah.
So
got
we're
plenty
putting
of
them
door
on the
space.
Plenty of door space. So, all right. Joey, you got the horns next. And who did you say you were doing?
I'm going to do the band from Sydney, Australia, Sadistic Execution.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, you sent me the name and I wasn't familiar with them, but that's cool. They're from Sydney. Like we said. Go ahead.
They're pretty old school, actually.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah. So we'll talk about them.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. And we're going all Australia with the music, and we're doing Roger Rogerson. We got Mick on. So it's going to be a great episode. We got a lot of listeners still. Melbourne is almost always in the top 10, and Canberra, which is where Mick is located, the capital, that is also in the top 10. I think they were the number 2 most listened to city is Canberra, Australia. So that's really cool. Depending on how you listen to or hear it pronounced, because it's spelled like Canberra, but they pronounce it a little differently.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So, all right, our 666 Club, that's the thing you can do to help us out, pay the bills. So you can join just $3 a month. And you could do that on Patreon at patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. Or you could go to our website. That's the easiest and cheapest way to go. MurderMetalMayhem.com. Go to the store. You can sign up for a year, $25, save 25%. That's a good fucking deal.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, so it's a good way to help the show out and helps us pay the bills. So we appreciate that. To all of you that are 666 Club members. All right, well, we have done plenty of metal tonight. So, Chris, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get our... Oh, shit. What do we got to do, Joe? I forgot.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, are you suffering from neck or back pain? Do your fingers tingle for no apparent reason? Do you have no feeling down there? Well, here at the Dunch Spine Clinic, we've been serving patients in Dallas for more than 20 years. We've crippled more people than polio.
I brought my daughter to Dunch Spine Clinic for a herniated disc in her neck and brought home a paraplegic. Dr. Dunch gave her a lollipop and a stuffed animal to take home. Now that's true customer service.
That's just one of many wonderful things our patients say about Dr. Dunch. Even after the Dr. Death docuseries came out, our patients know those were all lies about the greatest neurosurgeon to ever live.
I took advantage of Dunch Spine Clinic special. December double the paralysis. I paid to become a paraplegic and came home a quadriplegic, just as advertised. Thanks, Dr. Death. I mean, Dr. Dunch.
If you want all of your pain to just go away, call us at 888-TINGLE-NO-MORE. Well, at least you won't be able to feel a thing when we get done with you.
Oh, my God. That was a good one. Old Dunch Spine Clinic, Chris. That was good. Tex.
Yeah.
Tex killing it. That was funny. And before that, we had some fucking Nervosa, man. That was badass.
Death.
Yeah, the song Death. Those guys, I mean, the bass player there was fucking wicked as fuck. So definitely, I'm going to give that a little more of a listen. I like that for sure. All right, well, we are in Mayhem, and we have a special guest here that's there in the 419 with Joey. Joey, who do we have here hanging out with you?
Stephanie.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My better half in life right now. But she was, before we ever met, she was a listener to the podcast, so she's been an OG since back in the day.
She has been. And Stephanie, you got a cool Sick Rick mask there now, so
yes.
That's really wicked. It looks awesome. Of course, you guys picked the Jim Jones. That's badass. I can't wait to see he's finishing up the
Eileen. Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh my
God. It's looking fresh as fuck.
Wow.
Looking awesome.
The eyes are just like bugged out and perfect. Absolutely perfect, man. Just so amazing. But yeah, I really like the way that looks in the room. It looks awesome up there. So very cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we're in Mayhem, and we like to tell some funny stories sometimes, and we've got some disgusting stuff apparently that Stephanie wants to share with us. So,
I like the disgusting.
So she has a job at the hospital there, and you can tell them what you do and take from there, Steph. So what do you got to say?
All right. So I started a new job, and I've been doing CT for the last 5 years, and now I do X-ray and CT, and there's 2 of us at night, and they had multiple things marked ready to go do, and they said, I'll go do this, what you want to go do that? And then I found out they had a X-ray order for an ankle, and then my partner comes back and says, hey, I guess you picked the right one because she's got maggots in her ankle.
Ooh.
And I was like,
oh no,
I'm going to go see that one.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
how long would that
so
have had to have been like that? I mean, for that to happen.
You know, a fly, you have an open wound, a fly gets in there and just lays it. And most of the time it's people who don't move too much. But
right.
Yeah, so she had a wound on the back of her ankle, and she's like, yeah, I got maggots in there. And when I took the board out, there was a little wriggly maggot on the board.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, maggot ankle.
That's disgusting.
That's
There's a good grind band, Joey. Maggot ankle. That is pretty fucking disgusting. And
pictures would be dope.
after we just ate some Pop-Tarts, that's pretty gross. So
sorry.
At least we weren't eating fried rice.
That's fine. I've got a funny, it's a funny, just a quick story about my grandpa, the one I've told stories about, the one that stuck his arm in that barrel of pickles and all that. He was a character, and he used to mispronounce his neighbor's name. I guess this is where I get like the just fucked up weird sense of humor thing, but because now that I'm talking about this out loud, it sounds even stranger. But he liked to mispronounce the neighbor's name when he talked about him to my grandmother. So there was
like
a German couple that lived next door when he retired and they moved to New Jersey, and the guy's name was Heinz, a German guy, first name Heinz.
Like the ketchup?
Yeah.
All right.
So my grandfather, though, when he would talk about him to my grandmother, he would, on purpose, I know it wasn't like forgot the name for a second and just kind of, he was saying Hunts. And my grandmother was getting really mad at him. Like, it's not Hunts, it's Heinz. And you know that. Like, why do you keep saying that? It was like really obnoxious about it. So last night, ordered some food from the bar, and I went and picked it up and brought it home, and I got some tater tots. So I went in the fridge and got some ketchup, and I looked, and it was Hunt's ketchup, and I'm just like,
not Heinz ketchup, right?
No, is that why he was dulling him Hunt's? Like to be like funny, like it's not Heinz, it's Hunt's.
Right?
I don't know. He's not around. I like this burning question.
Is that why you did that, dude?
Yeah, Grandpa, were you like being like really clever? You know,
that's funny.
Yeah, I think I mentioned like
troll.
There was all sorts of stuff he would say that people didn't take seriously because he was always joking around. But he was saying, like, when Different Strokes first came out, he was saying that Gary Coleman had this rare kidney disorder, and that's why he was little. And we were all laughing at him and like, that's ridiculous. And then that's what it was. So he was like totally vindicated. And I'm like,
this is not a guy that's reading like People magazine.
Right.
How the fuck did he know this shit, you know? And there was another one. He was talking about the Little Rascals, and the Buckwheat character was originally a girl. And then it morphed into the boy character, and they just kept the name the same. But he was right. I mean, that was, you know, but we all just kind of laughed at him. At an era where there was no internet, or I don't know how in the world he would have known.
How do you know this, Grandpa?
I don't know. He might have belonged to like some kind of reading circle that read gossip. I don't know. I don't know. But
That's
Big
crazy.
P, yeah, definitely an enigma. So, all right, that's all I got for.
That's
for
funny
Mayhem.
though.
Killer cage match tonight. We got a good one because this got a little interesting, little twist to it. I thought was fun. And this is where we get 75 killers that we came up with, 75 objects for them to fight with, a variable to throw in the cage with them, and our listeners.
Interesting variable tonight, by the way.
Yes, the listeners pick the numbers, Chris, and that's how we know who's going to fight. So we want to say thank you to a few.
Once again, we got our friend from right here in Bloomington, Jess Brown. We got Steph Brooks, 419 Crip, represent. What? And then we got Harold Norris. What up, Harold? Killing it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Very, very cool. And we got a hell of a battle tonight in the steel cage for our 200th episode. Kind of an interesting mismatch. But as we all know, the objects and variable could change it up. So, Joey, who do we got fighting tonight?
Fucking Illinois hometown hero John Wayne Gacy.
Yep.
And he's going to be going up against fucking Henry Lee Lucas, the fucking drifter.
Oh, man. Drinking some strawberry milkshakes.
You know, there's people in the world
killing
that fucking hear you say John Wayne Gacy's the hometown hero. They're gonna be like, "You're a disgusting person."
Right? Oh, I know. I know. Killer's the card game. Jeff talks about that all the time, man. People are, but what about the victims, Jeff? What about the victims? Oh boy,
I feel bad for the victims, but
yeah,
it's still
we
part
say
of fucking,
that all the time.
It's still part of life and history, man.
It's a historic event that happened. It's fucked up. But tonight, though, we got these two going at it. And, Chris, here we go again with these two objects. We've seen them before.
Had these before. We got a fucking gun. Basically, I'm going to call it a pressure washer that shoots high-pressured fucking cum.
Right.
And fucking a snapping turtle.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh, shit.
And, Joey, the variable is extremely interesting tonight.
It's Fred Durst with his eyes sewn shut, fighting with Michael Shaw. Hold on. The variable is...
It's confusing.
It's Fred Durst with his eyes sewn shut, fighting with Michael Shawback with both hands tied behind his back.
So Michael's hands
got
are
his hands tied behind
his
his back. Henry's got his eyes sewn, or Fred has his eyes sewn shut.
All right. That's fucked.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
And to make matters worse, I'm adding a little new wrinkle, just a suggestion to you guys. Throwing this out there on the 200th, but thought, what the hell? A little background music might be nice.
We'll see what happens.
Numbers 1 to 10. So tonight I used a random number generator, and I came up with Electric Avenue by Eddie Grant. So that's the background music while John Wayne Gacy is fighting Henry Lee Lucas in a cage with a gun that shoots high-pressure semen and a snapping turtle, and our variable Fred Durst with his eyes sewn shut fighting Michael Shawback, and he's got his hands tied behind his back.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know what the hell to make of this, Chris. Where do we even fucking peel this onion back here?
I don't like onions, man. They're fucking gross.
Oh, I like onions.
But man. So we got Henry Lee and John Gacy fucking fighting. And I'm gonna say Gacy's fucking just hand to hand. Gacy's got the fucking fight over fucking Lucas. Like hand to hand combat. They're Gacy all day because he's a big old dude. And fucking Jesus Christ, man. I don't know. There's so much going on right now, dude. So fucking.
Do you think that Fred Durst and Michael are going to create?
Oh, Durst can't see shit. Michael can see, so I'm not worried about.
So what's Michael going to do?
Michael's just fucking arms behind his back. He's fucking full on charging him, knocking his shit to the ground, standing up and just stomping fucking Durst's face in. So Michael's fucking able to. Yeah, Michael's fucking just standing there after he fucking done beat Durst's ass. Fucking Lucas and fucking goddamn Gacy are looking at Michael like, holy fuck, you're a fucking psycho, dude. You just crushed that dude's skull with your boot. Michael's like, yeah, watch this, motherfuckers. Walks over to the snapping turtle. The snapping turtle fucking bites the bindings from behind Michael's fucking goddamn hand. So Michael's a free man now. They're like, oh shit, now what do we do? Fucking, this dude's fucking drunk as shit on whiskey. He's fucking psycho. He's got a fucking big ass snapping turtle in his hand. I don't know what to do. So they fucking Gacy and goddamn Lucas are both like, what about that gun? And then they realize it sprays out fucking cum. And they both love dudes anyway. So they're like, ooh, I'm going to drink this. Meanwhile, Michael's like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm killing both of you. Fucking attacks them both. Fucking smashes them with his boot. The turtle gets free fucking meat because he's a snappy turtle. He eats meat anyway. Right. Michael's got a pet turtle, walks away after he fucking kills everybody. Michael wins.
Wow. Damn. Joey, I mean, can you even fucking come back from that? I mean, that's pretty.
Oh, he always can. He always can.
Here, Joey.
No, I'm glad Chris took this one over because this one, there's a lot going on. So when the bell rings, I'm pretty sure that fucking Henry Lee Lucas, he's going to be grabbing that snapping turtle because he's thinking that A, you can use it as a weapon, and B, you can use it as something to fuck. And then
you can eat it too. You could eat that shit when you're done.
Absolutely. Then John Wayne Gacy, he wants to grab that fucking high-powered pressure semen gun thing because that's right up his alley. He's like, man, I'm going to fucking inflict some torture with this.
Right.
Now, they're sitting there looking at each other like a bunch of fucking bozos. And John Wayne Gacy he's in his stupid ass chicken man suit and he's fucking got grease all over himself with that cum gun. He's like, hey, I got a cum gun, but I don't know what the fuck to do with this thing. And then Henry Lee Lucas, he's sitting there like, hey, I'm fucking gonna tell you 50 lies and try to fucking figure out how to trick you into getting fucking bit up by the snapping turtle because it's the only weapon I got, or we can fuck the snapping turtle together. So the fight itself is not really progressing very well until Michael over there with Fred Durst. Michael's been having a pretty bad day because he's got his fucking hands tied behind his back and he's fucking pretty salty. Fred Durst, he's like, you know what? I can't see right now. If you fill me in on the action of the killer cage match, I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to let Michael Schauback drop this verse on this unreleased Limp Bizkit track.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be fresh for you right here in the killer cage match. And all of a sudden, the fucking beat drops out of nowhere and fucking just some badass new metal coming through the speakers. And Michael and Fred Durst are just fucking spitting lines at each other. And while this is going on, then the fucking fight starts progressing. And that's whenever fucking John Wayne Gacy takes that pressure washer, stuffs it down fucking Henry Lee Lucas's fucking missing glass eye, and just starts fucking pouring cum into his cranium. And he fucking kills Henry Lee Lucas with cum, John Wayne Gacy, to the beat of Limp and Mike.
All right. Wow. All right. I love it.
Okay. All right. That's very interesting. You guys both killed it with that one. That was good. But yeah, a lot going on. And you guys like the music ideas?
It was a good idea, but I completely forgot to put that in there. I should have done it.
Oh, no, that's all right. I know. I thought, should we play it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Should we play it while we do it, too? That might be another maybe
throw it
next
in the background.
time. I'll have that in the background while we're talking about it. That might be kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll see what's up.
Yeah, I was wondering about that with copyright things and issues. I didn't want to run into any problems, so that was one of the. And I thought if I found karaoke,
Michael done smashed the fucking whatever's playing that song,
right?
Like,
if I found karaoke versions of them, that would probably be safer, but still not totally cool. But I don't know. We'll think about that. So, all right,
fucking
very
dope
cool.
ass song to hear. Fucking Fred Durst with fucking Ding Dong, dude. Hell yeah.
While Electric Avenue from Eddie Grant
Yeah.
fucking going on.
That's the beat that dropped.
So I got this file, guys. I don't really know what to make of this. Very strange. When we took our hard break before we went into metal, I got this email from an anonymous person, and it's very mysterious because all it says is he wants us to play it live when we're recording the podcast, and he wants Punky to be there.
Hear that shit?
So I don't really know. So I got a hold of Joey, and Joey said he's got or was going to get. Joey, is he cool? Or if you talk to him, is he on standby?
Obviously, Punky is here and ready to represent.
All right, I'm just making sure.
Now.
Yeah,
There's
right.
no fucking excuses.
All right, I'm just making sure before we start this playback here, because none of us have heard this. We don't know what this is. Alls we know is that it's serious. The person's asking that we play it, and then he wants Punky right there to listen. So let's check this shit out.
Hey there, Murder Metal Mayhem. It's your friend, Robert Benoit, a.k.a. Ole Creole. I asked you to have Punky there with you when you play this live on your next episode. I saved it for the 200th episode for a reason. The world, hey, they gotta hear what I gotta say. After Weepy Voice Killer died, they spent a power vacuum, and I'm here to step up and claim what's mine. I don't think there's one man enough to stop Ole Creole from taking control. I can taste victory and the power that I'll have is I'm the top dog. Punky Brewster, you bitch. You and Weepy Voice Killer battle, and he got the better of you. You're nothing but a little bitch, and I don't think you'd last a minute with a real Cajun man. That would be me, Robert Benoit. A real Cajun man. I got one hell of a whoop ass coming with your name on it, son. First class delivery, I'll even give you home field advantage. I done took the liberty to book Huntington Center there in the 419, that's right, in Toledo. I want your people to watch you get your ass beat real bad. Ole Creole's gonna hurt you good, and I want your mama to be feeling it when her big ass is buried. That's right, Sugar Babe is a real bitch. December 27th, 7 p.m. at the Huntington Center on Jefferson Avenue. That's when we settle it once and for all and crown Ole Creole as the best day's ever been. To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And hey, Ric Flair said it best. That's all I got to say. Aye.
Holy shit, dude. Ole Creole, he came out of nowhere, bro.
What the fuck?
Out of nowhere.
Chris, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, wow. I mean, I had no idea that Ole Creole was like feeling like he was like going to come back and take over.
He apparently got some beef with Punky, dude.
Yeah. So, Punky, are you able to discuss this? I know this is probably a surprise to you, but I mean, did you want to make a statement?
Yeah, I'll give it over to Punky over here. We're in 419 Studios. He showed up. He said he needs to get out of here pretty soon because he needs to go get gas, and he can't get gas too late in 419.
Right.
Fuck no.
Shit, he probably fucking one of the motherfuckers out there robbing motherfuckers.
Shit, motherfucker, you know that I'm the one that's going to be robbing all the motherfuckers. Punky in this motherfucker 419 hoe in the house.
Damn.
Okay, I can't believe it's 2022. Y'all on some new shit, some new wrestling and shit. Motherfucker, y'all don't even know that whenever I was in the ring with WVK, shit was going down bogus and motherfucker. Y'all played me out. Y'all played me out like a sucker. Y'all just sat there and let me get my ass whooped by old WVK. And now WVK, he is R.I.P. WVK, R.I.P. I got love for the motherfucker. Now, this motherfucker, Ole Creole, won't come out talking shit. Hey, Shawback, this motherfucker, Ole Creole, they call him Ole Creole. That motherfucker, Old Butthole.
Oh,
Butthole. That's his name, Old Butthole.
Oh, man.
That motherfucker, he's talking about he's the top dog. Motherfucker, I'm the top dog. That's what's up.
I mean, Punky, he's talking about the Huntington Center. I mean, that's a pretty
Let me
big...
tell you what, this motherfucker think he gonna book the Huntington Center? You think you gonna come to the 419 and disrespect my own town?
Yeah, that's what he wants to do.
Motherfucker, that's never, ever, ever, ever gonna happen. You know why that's never gonna happen? Because, motherfucker, I got warrants. I can't even be out in the 419. I can't even be out in the streets. So how the fuck am I gonna fight you in a public place? They gonna arrest me before we can even fight. I think that's your game because you a snitch. Motherfucker. Snitches get ditches. Anyway, you motherfuckers want to talk all this shit. You want to say shit about my mom. You want to say how my mom's a bitch. Yeah, motherfucker, no shit, she a bitch. I'm the first one to tell you she a bitch. She the queen bitch. She the queen bitch of the Crips 419. Finley Ho out. Motherfucker, I'm gone. This fight gonna continue. You hear more from me. Peace.
Oh,
God
wow.
damn,
Punky
Punky
fired
lit
up. You got to think. I mean, after hearing Old Creole disrespect him like that.
The mad disrespect.
Yeah,
man.
he just wants to beat him in front of his family. I mean, that's like some Clubber Lang shit there.
Yeah.
Old
butthole.
Yeah, leave it to Punky to come up with some shit like that. So wow. So we haven't heard about any of this stuff for a while. WVK's gone. And they gave it some time, let it a
little hiatus,
and then came back with a vengeance, man.
God
Old Creole.
damn.
So we're gonna see if Punky wants to do like a formal response to that next week. And I think this is going to get interesting, man.
The motherfucker has a recording studio now, so I don't see why he wouldn't.
That's right. That's right. That's
419 Records, baby.
That's true. That is true. And so this is going to be very, very interesting. Old Creole and Punky fighting on December 27th in the 419. So that's
day before my birthday.
Hell yeah, there you go.
Oh, shit. Happy birthday to you.
All the more reason to be front ringside for that event.
Yep.
So very cool. All right. So we'll see how that one plays out. I mentioned, our website, murdermetalmayhem.com. I've also got one for my writing, which is petealtieri.com. I'll link to that in the episode description. In case you see or hear Altieri and you're like, how the fuck do you spell that? I got a web store on there. I've got samples of my writing. I've got my Elvis and the Two Dead Hookers story from Creation of Chaos 1. I've got the wreath from Creation of Chaos 2. And then I've got the Last Supper from Creation of Chaos 3. I've also got an excerpt from the Dreadful Lives of Enoch Strange novel and the Deeper Than Dead novel. So I've got plenty of free stuff that you can read and check out. And if you like it and want to order something, go right ahead. And our Murder Metal Mayhem website, you can subscribe to that email list so you know what's going on. Like we said, the social media stuff, they've got a lot of rules, and I think they don't like serial killers and any discussions of shit like that. And I think that's the problem. So whatever. I mean, we're not going to stop talking about it. So
Never.
Go to our website, and that's the best way to stay up on what we're doing. Sign up on the email list so when I post in the blog, you'll see it. You could join the 666 Club for 25% off if you do it that way. And, we got merch on there. We got T-shirts. We got some cool die-cut stickers. And our first activity book.
We are about to begin the new one.
We are. We talked about some ideas, and so that's going to be rolling out here before too long. So that should be fun. Another Murder Metal Mayhem activity book. So, all right, the YouTube channel, go check that out. Subscribe to that so when we post new content, you know about it.
We got some videos on there.
We got some videos.
About to be posting some new shit.
We got some new stuff coming so you can see Joey's cool studio set up over there. So those videos are going to be coming up very, very shortly. All right. Well, I think we have done plenty of mayhem tonight. So let's hit that outro. Fuck yeah, man. Laceration. Song Monolith. Those guys are badass. We did an interview with them not that long ago, and that was fun. Those guys are from California. Great old school death metal band. So, all right. Well, we still got Joey along with us and Steph there in the 419. And, you know, it's the 200th episode, guys. Just very cool. You know, big thanks to Tex, of course, for coming on with us.
Always fucking great time.
To celebrate. It was very cool. Always great to have his input. And I mean, for being, you know, as dumb and shit as the shit is that we do, we sure appreciate you guys listening to us. All these episodes, 200 of them, plus the 90. I mean, you got to think of that too. The 90 unnumbered episodes that we do bonus stuff.
It's hard to believe that we have 90 unnumbered.
I know that's a lot.
To me,
I know. So because when we don't do the full murder, metal, and mayhem, I don't feel it's like a number worthy episode. It's just a single one-off topic type of one that we've done, like an old dugout dick or one of those,
right.
You know. So we appreciate it though, everybody that supports what we're doing, and
thanks for sticking with us, even though we're
doing some stupid shit. Yeah. So, Chris, anything you want to add to that?
Just never thought that we'd fucking still be here doing this 5 years. The fact that it's been 5 years is shocking to me. Like, wait a minute, it's been 5 fucking years already?
Yeah, April will be 5 years.
Yeah, but still, I'm just like in awe. Like, holy fuck, we've done a lot of shit.
We have, because every week, I mean, it's relentless, this pace.
Every goddamn week.
And we don't really take, like, time off, you know, we just keep rolling. There's sometimes we do a bonus episode, but we're still doing
but we're
stuff.
still doing it. It may not be Tuesday night, but we're still fucking putting shit out, recording
a shorter episode, but still.
Recording multiple things in one time, like on a Saturday we come out and do the commercials or doing interview commercials or bonus episode and whatever. Man, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, we do enjoy it, obviously, but we do put in a lot of work to provide this to you, so we hope you guys dig it. Joey, what about you? Steph, anybody want to add anything to the conversation?
You guys are awesome. I like what you do. I'm sorry Facebook doesn't like it, but
fuck Facebook. Thanks,
you guys do a good job.
Thank you.
Always keep it interesting.
We try. We certainly try. You, like Joey said earlier, you have been with us since the very beginning, and you've seen the metamorphosis of it all, and now that we're in the Horntie studio set up, this is like the way it was supposed to be, you know. So it's pretty cool, and the fact that we can do this on Zoom and see Joey every week and have his input just like he was here is really cool, because this wouldn't have been a thing, you know, 10 years ago. We wouldn't have been able to really do this, you know.
And it's fucking crazy. It's because of the fucking podcast that I even know who Stephanie is, that I now live here in Toledo. Like, my whole life is way different based off because of the podcast, really.
That is true. I mean, that's true. That's fucking crazy. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really cool. Yeah, I was talking to Mick about that because he was asking about something about you moving out there and why and all that, and I told him what was up, and not on while we were recording, but we're just talking about things, and I was like, yeah, it's like the murder, metal, mayhem, love connection, you know. I don't know what to make of it, but that's really cool, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to, you know, get everybody's input on that and see what you guys thought. I mean, like Chris said, I mean, I would have never thought that we would have been doing this long, but I also know how I am with shit. Like when I did the Brutality Report for like 11 years.
Relentless.
I never missed an episode. I mean, I would have been puking chemo sick and doing it, and I just refused to fucking give up and not put an episode out, you know? And I've just always been like that. So I think when the more I think about it, it's like, well, I'd either do that or not at all. To me, there's nowhere in between. It's either do it right and do as good a job as you can do, or don't even fucking bother with it,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And so when we started doing this, I remember telling Chris, I'm like, man, from what some of the shit is that you've sent me, some of it's really good, but some of it's awful. I mean, I know we could do better than this, you know?
As far as podcasting,
Yeah,
shit?
just the way it sounds, and it's like, what do you got? How do you recording that? You know, so I think, you know, we got we had to do some learning on how to set it up,
right?
Because we dealt with the microphone issues and the USB mics and all this stuff, and trying to do this up in my room, which wasn't a really good setup at all. And
no,
so
it smelled like fucking ass.
And now we're out here in the studio, and everything is 200th episode. It's just cool. It's definitely sad that CK wasn't alive to see it, but man, he did 150 episodes.
That's what's up.
So he definitely was a huge part of those first 200 episodes, 150 of them. So, all right. Well, very cool. Let's see. Where are we at on here?
Bumper music, baby.
Yeah. Who was bumper music tonight, Joey?
Tonight for our bumper music, we had fucking Laceration, Nervosa, and Annihilation Process.
Hell
Fucking
yeah.
right.
Cool. Chris, that metal intro?
Always motherfucking the great metal motherfucker. Fucking Chrysix killing.
Hell yeah. And Murder Metal Mayhem intro by Low 12. Thanks to everybody out there that listens, and we love seeing the numbers when they come in every week. We appreciate you guys checking it out and telling your friends about it. Chris, what about that first comment?
That first comment, we got Tim Schuler.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, Tim Schuler. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but thank you anyway. Says, I really love the podcast. The episode on Jablonski was fucked. Never heard of him before. I'll smoke a joint to celebrate your 200th episode next week. Fuck yeah, blaze up, homie.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Tim. That's cool. Yeah, the Jablonski episode is definitely one fucked up dude for sure.
God damn, dude. But yeah,
really bad. Joey, what about that second one? Jablomi, yeah.
Yeah.
Amy Cole 55 said, my daughter told me about you guys last Christmas. I'm now a fan and live in Charlotte, getting my murder on every week. I love the new website, especially the CK page.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, if you go to murdermetalmayhem.com, at the top navigation bar, there's a CK page, and there's more to come on that. That's just kind of the beginning of it. I'm going to do a lot more with that. So if you're into that, go check that out. Of course. All right, Cameron Candy Crush commented. Wow, that's a lot of C's.
That's a lot of C's.
You guys are the shit. Congrats on 200 episodes. You make my drive to work hilarious every day. I'm catching up on the early episodes. So, wow.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Cameron. That's cool. And I'm glad you like it, and that we make your commute a little bit more fucking ridiculous.
Anything to make driving a lot less stressful.
That's right. That's right. And Chris, what about that last one? Or Steph?
I'm going to hand that one to Steph. I was going to say, I'm going to hand that one to
Stephanie
since she's on here.
Is it Andreas Peligro?
Yeah,
we'll go.
55598. I'm in Florence, Italy, and love this podcast. Love the metal you play. Horns from me to all of you.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Thanks, Andreas. That's fucking cool as hell. You can pick up a copy of my latest book, Slab of Sickness, Terror on the Tracks. Check the episode description for your way to get one with a free poster and bookmark. PeteAltieri.com, and I'll link to that in the episode description. Check out murdermetalmayhem.com. That's the new website. We got a web store on there. You can get the original t-shirts, the zombie t-shirts, activity book, die cut stickers. I'll ship the stuff out right away. And you can even join the 666 Club for a 25% savings. So murdermetalmayhem.com. Joey, how's your distro going? And you got some Goremonger stuff happening too. I don't know if you want to mention any of that.
Yeah, I got fucking brand new Horrorflix 3 t-shirts. I got stickers. I got the CD coming out soon. I got everything on my end done. I'm waiting on a couple of my guest vocalists to give me their tracks back, and that's it, and that's done. And then I'm also writing for a split that's coming out on an Australian label, and working in retail, especially this time of year, I'm just constantly at work.
Forgot about that. Yeah,
I'm not getting as much done as I'd like to on that as quick, but it'll get done too. But hit me up. New Machete Dildo CD's out. I've also got a Holy Cost and Blondie Fester album about to drop. I just finished the album art for it. So.
And you got a couple shows coming up soon, right?
Yeah, what about the Goremonger shows
coming up?
Yeah, I got a few shows. I got the next one I got's in December, and that's here in Toledo, 419. And another one up in Michigan on New Year's Eve, and both of those, my buddy Sean and his band Alien 666, they're playing. So that'll be a fun time. First time meeting some of the locals around these areas.
Yeah. That's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I'm glad you're fucking getting out there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man. Like us on Facebook, at least the group, because we're not really on there truly. Follow us on Twitter and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can basically hear us pretty much everywhere, but leave comments, rate the show. We appreciate it very much. We mentioned that 666 Club. It's a great way to help support us and what we're doing.
Yes, sir.
And offset some of the costs of putting the podcast together. So patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. And you can go on our website, as I mentioned, and sign up there as well. All right, well, we can't let them go without hearing a karaoke song. It's a little blast from my past, so crank this one up. And until next time, after 200 fucking episodes, Chris,
200
keep
episodes.
one foot in the gutter.
And keep one hand clutching a Riley's cigarette, keep one hand clutching a bourbon and 7-Up, and jump the fuck out of a plane.
There I was completely wasting, out of work and down. All inside it's so frustrating as I drift from town to town. Feel as though nobody cares if I live or die. So I might as well begin to put some action in my life. Fuck yeah! Breaking the law, breaking the law. 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 So much for the golden future, I can't even start. I've had every promise broken, there's anger in my heart. You don't know what it's like, you don't have a fucking clue. If you did, you'd find yourself doing the same things too, yeah! Breaking the law, breaking the law. 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 You don't know what it's like. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Breaking the law, breaking the law. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.